I have comedians dressing up in whiteface. I have people saying I'm not fit to be CEO. And I have Candace Owens claiming I murdered my husband. And the list goes on and on and on.
This is not helping. This is making everything worse. I'm sorry, I can't with Erika Kirk's bizarre and dramatic monologue. If your goal is to be taken seriously, which I'm now realizing I'm saying dressed as Erika, the point I'm trying to make is if your goal is to be taken seriously as the leader of a national organization, let alone a functioning human being in public, then staring into the camera like an Imperial officer on the Death Star is not the move. This is not the move. Wait, why does her breathing sound so familiar? Oh, I know. I'm gonna break down all the lies and hypocrisy in Erika Kirk's video and how it connects to much more, but let me start by reminding everyone, especially MAGA watching, that this is what you claim to believe.
The left wanted to make comedy illegal, you know? Yeah. Like, you can't make fun of anything. So then it's like, comedy sucks. It's like, nothing's funny, you can't make fun of anything. It's like, legalize comedy. Yeah.
Right. Legalize comedy. The same people who scream about free speech and how the left is a bunch of sensitive snowflakes suddenly can't handle jokes or criticism. And Erika Kirk decided the best response was to deliver a bizarre hostage video. Or as Trump would say,
just gonzo, folks, they're gonzo.
For the record, being dressed as Erika Kirk right now is very unsettling. I actually caught myself staring into the void several times, just like Erika did during her CBS News propaganda video with Barry Wise. So props to Druski for staying in full character.
I serve a righteous God.
Now, for the purpose of this episode of What Was That, I am going to commit to the bit, because honestly, these nails took way too long to put on, and also I know how much MAGA loves playing dress-up, wearing lipstick, cheap jewelry, and fake nails. I mean, just ask the men of the Republican Party. Kristi Noem's husband, Brian Noem, George Santos, and according to many Republicans, even serial plagiarist Benny Johnson.
One of the most distinctive things about the right wing in this country is its homosexual overtones. Benny Johnson posts pictures of his children every 2 days. It's weird. And everybody knows what went on with Benny Johnson in those lobbies and in those hotel rooms at SAS. Everybody knows.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Men. Younger men, not underage. At least I don't know that. His wife was crying drunk in the lobby 3 SASs in a row about how her husband was upstairs with boys.
Come on.
But go Oscar!
Or I could just point to the well-documented Grindr activity spikes during GOP events and let you connect the dots yourself. But seriously, who told Erika this was a good idea, and what is up with her outfit? Why does she look like the Temu version of Pokemon's Team Rocket? Girl needs to stay home and grieve with her family like a normal person. Just take time off, because the more she keeps doing cringy, creepy, and unhinged things, the more criticism she invites, which inspires another cringy response, which invites more criticism. It's a cycle entirely of her own making. Maybe if Erika didn't want people criticizing her, she wouldn't stare into the camera like she's summoning a demon while dressed like Eminem.
Everybody's been telling me what they think about me for the last few months. Maybe it's time I tell them what I think about them.
Even right-wing commentators are telling her to step away.
She doesn't have to do this. Like, take up this mantle. You know, it's getting to a point where, you know, I feel bad for this woman. I really do. I mean, you know, what happened to her husband was horrible. I mean, I don't know her. I've never met her. I know people that know her. Some of them like her. Some of them think, you know, I don't know what's going on. Some of them are confused. I'm confused. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why she's choosing to continually be everywhere. She's like everywhere. Like, you got to take a minute. Slow it down. I'm not telling you to stop. Slow it down. That's the great lesson here. Slow it down. Take a beat, take a minute, take a breather.
Erika's disturbingly bizarre video was a big mistake for many reasons, which I'm going to get into, because this isn't just about someone crashing out in a PR spiral. This is about how victimhood becomes a weapon, how performative grief becomes a revenue stream and political currency, and how the people cashing in face zero accountability for where it lands. Here's an example. In the middle of Erika's supposedly heartfelt address about her husband's assassination, the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and blaming the left and the media for political violence, there's a baked-in ad for TikTok. As in, they deliberately made an ad for TikTok and put it into the video before uploading it to YouTube. The person delivering the ad is Andrew Colvett, spokesperson for Turning Point and also Charlie's friend, which is a weird way of showing it.
Peace of mind shouldn't take guesswork. With easy-to-use tools like family pairing, parents can help shape the environment that makes the most sense for their teen.
I'm sorry, but who the puts a TikTok ad in the middle of what is supposed to be an emotional response from the widow of the assassinated husband?
Suspicious.
Again, who is greenlighting this stuff? Was it Erika as the CEO of Turning Point?
I have people saying I'm not fit to be CEO.
Well, they might have a point because this was not a production oversight. This was a deliberate choice. Someone looked at that video and said, do you know what would go great here? A TikTok ad.
Yikes.
It actually shows you how desperate Turning Point has become. An organization that used to have money, influence, and infrastructure, but now that the face of that organization is gone, chapter presidents are resigning because the organization no longer aligns with its original principles under Erika Kirk. Their all-white halftime show with Kid Rock was a lip-syncing flop. They can barely fill the seats of their events, and on top of that, they have to come up with excuses for why Erika can't attend said events, claiming it's due to threats. But her future husband, Vice President J.D. Vance, can just show up without issue?
Sure, Jan.
Also, the Secret Service determined there were no credible threats to the UGA rally after Erika Kirk's cancellation. So you're telling me that Erika Kirk lied about something for attention and sympathy?
Shocker.
Turning Point social media numbers are in freefall, and they desperately need every dollar they can scrape together. That's not a thriving organization. That's one circling the drain. I mean, just look at how Ben Shapiro's The Daily Wire fired 50% of their staff. But not to worry, I'm sure if The Daily Wire falls further into a financial hole, some Trump-friendly billionaire like Larry Ellison and his son David will add them to their right-wing media monopoly. TikTok, CBS, CBS News, Paramount Skydance, Warner Brothers, Oracle. But sure, immigrants and Democrats are the real bad guys in this story, not the billionaires firing workers, replacing them with AI, and raising prices. Anyway, back to Erika. You can't monetize your husband's death and then act shocked when people question your sincerity. You can't turn a statement about political violence into a TikTok promo and expect to be taken seriously. That's not just tone deaf, that's dehumanizing. So I find it pretty interesting that in her video, she accuses the media of dehumanizing her, so much so that she claims that she went to the White House Correspondents' Center to confront journalists face to face.
And everyone is asking why I even went to the White House Correspondents' Center. And it was because many of the journalists in that room have attempted to dehumanize me, and I wanted to meet some of them face to face, quite frankly. Why have a conversation about me when you can have a conversation with me?
Here's the thing, journalists aren't dehumanizing Erika. The majority of outlets are literally just reporting on her behavior, which is objectively weird and creepy, even if everyone grieves differently.
Please welcome Turning Point USA CEO and Chair, Erika Kirk.
What's wrong with her?
A journalist from the Daily Mail came up to me. She introduced herself, and she was very gracious. She was saying, "You look so beautiful. I'm so sorry for your loss." To which I replied, "It is so nice to put a name to the face, especially with all of the slander, the lies, accusations that are out there surrounding my husband's murder and myself." And I said to her, "You know what's so interesting? This is my first time at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and I find it so fascinating, the dynamic that is going on right now, because everyone is all dressed up, and you guys are co-mingling in and out of each other's cocktail parties. And so for one night, you are able to put aside all of your differences for the sake of freedom of speech. And then by Monday morning, things will go back to being an absolute bloodbath between all of you." To which she replied, literally, she said, "I know. Isn't it special, right? Isn't tonight so special?"
And this story about confronting a Daily Mail journalist, the only person from that publication who covered Erika during this period was Susan Green. She reported on how Erika was giggling and cheerfully discussing attendance figures, merchandise sales, and performance metrics from Charlie Kirk's memorial event 11 days after his death.
The fact that we were able to pull off an event of a century, like, it's just insane. We had over 275,000 people that attended. We're at like over 200,000 for merch sales. Don't quote me on that because I think it just keeps like bumping up like crazy. Huge, huge, huge thank you to the events team, The development team, the graphic design team, the production team, it's just phenomenal. Their incredible work leading into the memorial. Since his assassination, we have 100,000 chapter requests. We have 300,000 new donors. I think we have 50,000 plus hat orders to fulfill.
But do you want to know how I know this whole story is
fake news?
Well, on April 2nd, Erika Kirk was on stage with Caroline Levitt at a TPUSA event and claimed that she doesn't care what people say about her online or in the headlines.
There'll be people that are like, did you see what they're saying about you on X? And I'm like, no, I don't have time. I don't have time. And actually, quite frankly, I really do not care.
Every morning I wake up to a new headline lying about me. I have comedians dressing up in whiteface. I have people saying I'm not fit to be CEO. And I have Candace Owens claiming I murdered my husband. And the list goes on and on and on.
So even though she claims to have forgiven her husband's killer,
I forgive him.
she decides to go to the White House Correspondents' Center so she can confront every journalist who has ever reported something bad about her. Yeah, I'm calling
Bullshit.
Just say you went to the dinner because you were invited as a guest of Fox News. That's the whole sentence. There's no need to lie and make this way more dramatic than it already is. Erika's whole video is just hypocritical. She's blaming others for causing political violence and then in that same breath says that she went to the dinner to confront people. I don't know. Some people might say that that's looking to incite violence.
And so during an active shooting, these journalists are using their phones to find moments to capture for clips.
Journalists witnessed an incident in real time and Erika gets mad at them for recording what was happening and reporting on it? That's literally their job. Keep in mind, this is the same person who creepily filmed a video of herself with her dead husband Charlie Kirk as he laid in his open casket and then posted it online.
God bless you.
Huh? You don't get to exploit your dead husband for likes and then turn around and lecture journalists about documenting things they witness. Keep that same energy or keep it private. Pick one. And speaking of MAGA exploiting a moment, before anyone knew what was happening with the attempted shooting at the White House Correspondents' Center, Trump was on Truth Social, not offering prayers or calling for calm, but to exploit it to justify his ballroom project. A ballroom that nobody but him wants and the majority of Americans have rejected. That includes his 250-foot wannabe Hitler Arc de Triomphe. This eyesore is gonna block the Lincoln Memorial. And right on cue like clockwork, MAGA picked up their marching orders and flooded the internet with, "This is exactly why we need the ballroom." Mind you, a ballroom that the White House Correspondents' Center would never use. But leave it to Trump and his personal attorney turned acting attorney general Todd Blanche to take it a step further and ask a federal court to let the project resume because of what happened at the dinner.
We absolutely believe that there is no better example of why this ballroom is necessary, aside from all the very positive things the ballroom will bring to this country and to Washington, D.C., than what happened. Again, aside from the fact that the ballroom is spectacular, it's going to be beautiful, it's going to make this country look great every time it's used. It's also a meaningful safety issue.
It's so weird how the legal push to resume construction just happened to line up with an attempted shooting at the dinner, isn't it? Oh, and remember how Trump said the $400 million price tag was fully funded and privately paid for? Well, it turns out it wasn't.
We're going to introduce legislation that would authorize $400 million to be spent to secure to build the presidential ballroom. Underneath, there will be a lot of military stuff, and the sooner we get the ballroom built, the more hardened it is, the better for the country.
Pretty crazy to think about how much Lindsey Graham has changed over the last 11 years.
I believe Donald Trump would be an absolute, utter disaster for the Republican Party, destroy conservatism as we know it. We would get wiped out, and it would take generations to overcome a Trump candidacy. He's a race-baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot. He doesn't represent my party. He doesn't represent the values that the men and women who wear the uniform are fighting for. He is empowering radical Islam, and if you knew anything about the world at all, you would know that most Muslims reject this ideology, and you know how you make America great again? Tell Donald Trump to go to hell.
Look, I don't know who has what on Lindsey Graham, but the Republican Party is a chaotic mess, and that chaos isn't accidental. It flows directly from the top. Donald Trump has been stoking division and violence since 2015.
Knock the crap out of him, would you? Seriously. Okay? Just knock the hell. I promise you, I will pay for the legal fees, I promise.
Trump spoke for about 30 or so minutes when a protester did interrupt.
He had some people, some rough guys like we have right in here, and they started punching back. It was a beautiful thing. I mean, they started punching back. But you also had people that were very fine people on both sides. In the good old days, this doesn't happen because they used to treat them very, very rough. And when they protested once, you know, they would not do it again. You know what they used to do to guys like that when they were in a place like this? They'd be carried out on a stretcher, folks. Like to punch him in the face, I'll tell you. All right, get him out of here, please. Get him out. Get him out. Are you from Mexico? Are you from Mexico? All right, yeah, get him out. Try not to hurt him. If you do, I'll defend you in court. Don't worry about it. Get that guy out of here. Get him out. Get that guy out of here. Oh, this is amazing. So much fun. I love it. I love it. We having a good time? USA. USA.
However, Erika, like the rest of MAGA, wants to blame the left for everything wrong in the world, including the murder of her husband and the 3 assassination attempts on Trump's life.
The systemic indoctrination and radicalization of our own citizens. This is what got my husband killed. This is what has led to 3 legitimate attempts on President Trump's life.
Has it ever occurred to MAGA that maybe, just maybe, this keeps happening because of their rhetoric?
They are indeed the enemy from within, but this is who we're fighting. We will root out the communists, Marxists, fascists, and the radical left thugs that live like vermin within the confines of our country. The Democrats are sick. There's something wrong. They're like terrorists. The ultra-left-wing liars, losers, creeps, perverts, and freaks who are devouring the future of this state like a swarm of locusts. The radical left, the Marxists, the anarchists, the agitators, the looters. Members of Congress and even former presidents have been openly embracing vile creeds such as socialism, Marxism, and straight-up communism.
So when you're looking for who's responsible for political violence in America, the answer is pretty obvious. The Republican Party. Erika might want to be careful about who she's blaming for violence when her late husband, Charlie Kirk, spent years platforming exactly the kind of rhetoric that fuels it.
Politico says top Republicans reject any link between GOP rhetoric and Paul Pelosi assault. Of course you should reject any link. Why is the Republican Party, why is the conservative movement to blame? Why are we to blame for that exactly? And why is he still in jail? Why has he not been bailed out? By the way, if some amazing patriot out there in San Francisco or the Bay Area wants to really be a midterm hero, someone should go and bail this guy out. I bet his bail's like $30,000 or $40,000. Bail him out and then go ask him some questions.
If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified.
The alphabet mafia, they get gay marriage, which we never should have allowed to happen.
Homosexuality is a sin or transgenderism is bad. I'm dealing with somebody in customer service who's a moronic black woman. I wonder, is she there because of her excellence, or is she there because of affirmative action? It almost creates thought patterns that are not necessarily wholesome. You're going to remove my appendix and you're a black lesbian. In the Civil Rights Act, though, let's be clear, created a beast, and that beast has now turned into an anti-white weapon.
This is how arrogant Joy Reid and Ketanji Brown Jackson and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee are. They're so narcissistic, they think this is persuasive. They think we're like, oh, of course, that's why we need affirmative action, because you have impressed us with your brilliance.
And speaking of that rhetoric, let's talk about the sheer stupidity that Charlie spread for years.
Do you truly, in your heart of hearts, truly believe that this is a human being? This?
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt?
Yes.
This is a dolphin fetus.
So let me...
Without a doubt, a dolphin fetus is a human being. This is a human fetus. Look how similar they look, but quite different. Dolphin. You just confirmed that a dolphin... In life, do you confuse dolphins for human babies often?
So let me
you
ask
go to
you a
SeaWorld and you're like, someone's got human babies in that aquarium. Get the human babies out of the aquarium.
The so-called experts on life, ladies and gentlemen, can't tell a dolphin from a human, but wants to lecture us about abortion. These are the people indoctrinating others on a foundation of lies and spectacular ignorance.
And this is my other problem with death penalty. It takes too long, too many appeals.
Expensive.
It should be public. It should be quick. It should be televised.
I think it's worth to have a cost
of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights.
That's ironic, huh?
This is the legacy that Erica Kirk is out here defending. Televised executions and acceptable gun deaths. But sure, the problem is the left and comedians like Jimmy Kimmel.
How would you feel if even just one person made cruel jokes about the attempted murder of your loved one? That is what Jimmy Kimmel did to the First Lady. He said that she had the glow of an expected widow. The glow of an expected widow.
No. That is not what Jimmy Kimmel did, and her lame attempt to tie one to the other is straight out of the GOP's Selective outrage playbook.
Our First Lady Melania is here. Look at Melania, so beautiful. Mrs. Trump, you have a glow like an expectant widow. You know, Melania's birthday is on Sunday. That's right. She's planning to celebrate at home the same way she always does, looking out a window and whispering, "What have I done?"
Jimmy Kimmel's joke about Melania having the glow of a soon-to-be widow was about age. Melania is 56 and Trump is 79, about to turn 80. That's it. That's the whole joke. Melania blamed Kimmel for what happened, tweeting, "Kimmel's hateful and violent rhetoric is intended to divide our country. His monologue about my family isn't comedy. People like Kimmel shouldn't have the opportunity to enter our homes each evening to spread hate." Oh, you mean like your husband, the guy who forced himself onto everything and everyone, including women, so he can spread his vitriolic hate? Look, Erica and Melania can save me the whole woe is me routine, especially when Trump is out here trying to make the same exact joke, but delivers it terribly.
My incredible father, we loved him so much. We all loved him. We loved her. We loved him. Fred, and they were married for 63 years. And excuse me if you don't mind. That's a record we won't be able to match, darling. I'm sorry. Just not going to work out that way. We'll do well, but we're not going to do that well.
Did he just make a joke about his death? Only Donald Trump would demand I be fired for making a joke about his old age and then a day later go out and make a joke about his own old age. You think?
Also, I think we can all agree that Melania did not write this tweet. This is the woman that gave us
"Be best,"
a campaign slogan that sounds like what you get when you ask ChatGPT to translate "do good" into English twice. So forgive me if I'm skeptical Melania suddenly discovered subject-verb agreement. But setting that aside, this is rich coming from someone who launched an anti-bullying campaign while her husband celebrates the deaths of Rob Reiner and Robert Mueller, jokes about violence constantly, and sent a violent mob to storm the Capitol. Melania can sit this one out. She's literally married to a pedophile, rapist, and traitor.
I'm not a rapist. I didn't rape anybody.
Do you think he was referring to you?
Excuse me. I'm not a pedophile. You read that crap from some sick person. I got associated with all stuff that has nothing to do with me.
I just want to highlight what happened in that 60 Minutes interview following the Correspondents' Dinner. The journalist was simply reading to Trump what was in Cole Allen's manifesto. It never said that Trump was the pedophile, rapist, and traitor. It never even mentioned Trump's name. But leave it to Trump to immediately lash out and tell the audience that he's not a rapist, he didn't rape anybody.
Right.
And when the journalist responded with this line,
do you think he was referring to you?
Just chef's kiss, 10 out of 10, no notes. That is how a trap should be set for Trump in every interview. Trump's response was a confession on so many levels. It's the exact same energy as Erika Kirk complaining about comedians mocking her.
I have comedians dressing up in whiteface.
Here's what you need to know about the Druski video. He never said Erika Kirk's name. The video was titled "How Conservative Women in America Act." That's all he said.
We are all his children. But when I say children, I mean like the holy blessed Trinity, which is why I hold the Bible.
Sure, you could say that Druski's character looks like Erika Kirk, but you could also say it looks like Caroline Levitt, or Tiffany Trump, or any of the other white blonde MAGA women crawling around Mar-a-Lago. MAGA immediately got upset and demanded that Druski be sued for defamation. I mean, even Trump joined in.
I think you should sue him, but I told her, you ought to sue somebody. They're so jealous of Erica. I said, you ought to sue I can say you're not allowed to say this, you have to be nicer. Sue their ass off.
Again, Druski never said Erika's name, and also, his parody video falls under
free speech.
Outrage!
MAGA just assumed it was her because Druski danced in front of pyrotechnics like she did for her WWE entrance at Charlie Kirk's funeral. Her claiming that she was mocked by a comedian doing whiteface is more of a confession than a defense. Also, whiteface is not a thing, nor will it ever be a thing. But leave it to someone who spews literal Nazi rhetoric to pretend a parody sketch is the same as blackface.
Don't let anyone disenfranchise you because you're a young man, especially a young white male man. Don't ever let anyone talk down to you. We need strong men out there, strong men who are convicted, that will be good leaders, good husbands.
We have to protect all men in America, especially all white men in America. Those are the boys that we care about in this country. America is built on their backs.
Okay, maybe that Druski sketch was about Erika Kirk. But here's the thing, Erika's out here accusing comedians and journalists of dehumanizing her, while her own organization is falling apart under her watch. Former employees are speaking out about internal chaos, claiming 20-hour workdays, petty firings, and being terminated for questioning what happened the day that Charlie was killed. MAGA leaders are publicly calling each other frauds at their own events. And Erika's response is to make a hostage video looking like Mama Fratelli from the Goonies, complaining about what other people are reporting on. So when you're wondering who's actually dehumanizing Erika Kirk, I don't know, maybe look at Erika Kirk herself, or the people who work for her, or the GOP, because...
We traced the call. It's coming from inside the house. You hear me? It's coming from inside the house.
Thanks so much for watching What Was That? If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to check out my Substack at whatwasthat.show to get more episodes and breakdowns. You can also support my show by subscribing for just $10 per month. And if you have other ideas for stories that you'd like me to cover, make sure to contact me on any of these platforms at I am Gabe Sanchez. You can also find What Was That on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. I'm Erika Kirk. I'm Gabe Sanchez, and I'll see you next time on What Was That?